What's up, everybody? It's your Power on Wheels, CT Barry, coming at you live for another video. And in this video, we are going to talk about Impact Wrestling. So, I asked you guys on social media if you guys wanted me to talk about all wrestling in one video or give each promotion their own separate. So, nobody really said anything, so I'm going to try it, giving each promotion their own video, and we'll see the results of how it's liked, as opposed to doing everything all at once. So, we are going to talk about tonight, or last night's episode of Impact. It's 2:36 a.m. I had to look on my wheelchair for the time, and we are going to run down the Slammaversary match card for Saturday night. So, I actually watched the rerun of Impact Wrestling because your boy was a little cranky today and needed a little nap at 6 p.m. Don't judge me. And so I watched the rerun, and I thought it was a pretty good show to, the go-home show before Slammaversary. I want to give a shout-out to Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight for their amazing match that they had, which Mike Bailey was the winner. And then we had this teaser at the end of the show of Scott D'Amore calling somebody to be his tag team partner for Slammiversary, since on last week's episode we saw Bully Ray and Steve Macklin light PCO on fire, and then on the Down Under tour, Steve Macklin was injured. I haven't really researched what actually happened to him, but I know he's hurt, and he's not cleared for Slammiversary. So Diener will be taking his place, which I kind of thought that was a little random at first, but then on Impact they showed a clip of an interview with him on Busted Open, which Bully Ray also does, and he said that he was a Jeff Jarrett guy, when Jeff Jarrett had brought in GCW and all that crap back in 2015, when Impact was honestly trash. And he said that, he was in the back talking with Jeff Jarrett, and Scott D'Amore came into the locker room and was laughing at him. So, I thought that was kind of a good way to, bring Diener into the story. Saying, how Scott D'Amore was making fun of him, and, now he wants to get his revenge, and, prove to Scott D'Amore how good he really is. And, So we still don't know Scott D'Amore's partner for Slammiversary, which we will find that out this weekend. I'm kind of assuming it's going to be Tommy Dreamer, since, they've had that rivalry with Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer in Impact as of late. So I'm anxious to see where that match goes. So, with that being said, let's run down the matches for Slammiversary. So, in no particular order, I'm on the website looking at the match card, making sure I get all the matches right. So, we have, for the Impact World Championship, we have Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis. And at the last show, I think it was Against All Odds. I'm pretty sure that was the last show on Impact Plus. we saw Alex Shelley capture the world title from Steve Macklin. And, you know, I'm glad Shelley finally got his due in Impact Wrestling as world champion. You know, he's been with the company for a lot of years. I know there was a while he wasn't there, like he was in like Ring of Honor, New Japan, but, you know, I'm glad they came back and gave him a run with the world title. But I also like that Nick Aldis is back, you know, because in Impact, you know, he was kind of the young protege of the Main Event Mafia when they were having their feud with Aces and Eights back in like 2013. And then he became like Dixie Carter's hand-picked guy. You know, when Dixie Carter was having that whole Dixieland reign of tyranny or whatever. And so, and then, you know, he left Impact and went to NWA and became a world champion for Billy Corgan. And, you know, I think he's really proved himself, but ultimately, I think Alex Shelley is going to get the win because, in my opinion, I think they're going to do option C with Chris Sabin since he is the X Division champion. And, you know, have them have like a little feud or whatever. Because if you remember, like, back in 2013 after he lost the world title to Bully Ray in that cage match, you know, he became like a heel for a while and he actually did a really good job. So that's kind of what I'm wondering, if they're going to, like, you know, have him turn on Alex Shelley saying, like, I was always the better gun, like, I was more successful, you know, that sort of thing. So ultimately, I think Alex Shelley gets the win in this match. And then, since I didn't mention Chris Sabin, I will go ahead and talk about the X Division title match with him and Lio Rush. Need to get a quick drink real quick. And so, Lio Rush came to Impact and aligned with Nick Aldis because, you know, which I did forget to mention that, you know, Nick Aldis, after that big tag team match, you know, he clung to Alex Shelley in the head with the belt, solidifying himself as a heel. And so, you know, the next week, or like a couple weeks later, when, you know, Nick Aldis came out and, you know, explained why he did what he did. And as he was leaving the ring, you know, Lio Rush came into the ring because he had made his debut in Impact earlier on in the show. And, you know, attacked Alex Shelley from behind, which then, you know, brought Chris Sabin out to, you know, help Shelley. And then, you know, Rush and Aldis left the machine guns line in the ring. So they're going to fight for the X Division title, which, I don't know. I mean, I like Lio Rush's in-ring ability. I really do, but he just, you know, and they were saying this on Impact, like Chris Sabin said this, and I know it was just to elevate the story, but I think he's telling some truth. Because it's like in every locker room Lio Rush has been in, he's always thought he was the best and was arrogant and just rubbed people the wrong way. So, I mean, I definitely don't think he's going over in this match. I mean, I really don't think he's going to be an Impact very long. Because, I mean, you know, it's like Lio Rush goes somewhere, then he retires, and then he goes somewhere else, and then he retires again. And it's just this ever-going thing. So, I don't see Lio Rush getting the title at Slammaversary. Excuse me, had to burp there. So, and then we have the Impact World Tag Team title. We have ABC, Moose and Brian Myers, Rich Swann and Sami Callihan, and Subculture. You know, I mean, I like ABC, you know, as a team, you know, that's you know, they're doing their thing with, you know, because they're part of the Bullet Club, and then, you know, they're still doing their thing in Impact. And then, you know, we have Moose and Brian Myers align. And then, you know, we have Sami Callihan and Rich Swann aligning, you know, because they've been feuding with the Design for a while. And then, you know, Subculture's coming back after they had a tag team title match with, I think they fought the Guns, because I think the Guns were still the tag team champions. Like, this was before ABC beat them. So, honestly, I gotta go with Subculture on this one. I'm going with the wild card. You know, I like that they're kind of still doing their thing that they started back in NXT UK before they got released after NXT UK shut down. So, and you know, Mark Andrews was an Impact back in like 2015, you know, when he was Mandrews. So, I really think Subculture's going to get the win, and I hope Danny Luna, you know, gets into the Knockouts division as well. You know, because I really don't think she got her chance to shine in NXT UK, so, you know, I'd like to see what she's all about. So, and then, you know, we'll go up here a little bit, and then we have the Knockouts World title with Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity. So, you know, Trinity made her debut for Impact a while back. And, you know, she basically, you know, shot straight to the top. But ultimately, you know, they've been having an alliance for a while, like teaming out of respect, and then tonight they finally came to blows on Impact. So, now ultimately, I think Deonna's going to get the win, because from what I read online, Trinity's deal with Impact is only through the summer, and ultimately I think she's going to head back to WWE, because, you know, that's where Jimmy is, her husband, and, you know, I think she'll eventually come back to WWE, so I don't see her getting the Knockouts World title, or, I mean, if she does, it's not going to be a very long reign, you know what I mean, but I still think Deonna's going to win. And then, I mentioned this at the start of the video, like the whole feud with Bully Ray, Scott D'Amore, PCO getting lit on fire, Steve Macklin getting hurt. I should have gave my prediction right then and there, who I thought was going to win, but, you know, I guess I just forgot. And I think Scott D'Amore and his team's going to get the win because, you know, they're in Canada. It's Scott D'Amore's hometown of Windsor. So I think he's going to get the win. And then, you know, that feud with Bully Ray is going to be over. And then he'll go back to being the president of Impact and yada, yada, yada. And then, so then we have Frankie Kazarian versus Eddie Edwards, and in Frankie's corner, it's going to be his wife, Tracy Brooks, and then in Eddie's corner, it's going to be his wife, Alicia. So, you know, these two had a match back at Against All Odds where, oh crap, forgot who won the match. I think it might have been Eddie. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, because they're 1-1, so this is the rubber match. Okay, so, you know, they're gonna fight at Slammaversary with their wives in the corner because, you know, Alicia's been getting involved, so, you know, Kazarian's bringing his wife in to, you know, keep Alicia at bay. And, you know, these two guys, they had a weeks-long alliance because they were both trained under Killer Kowalski. And, you know, that fell through, so now they're going to have their match at Slammiversary, and I think Frankie Kazarian picks up the win in this one. So then we have a Knockouts Tag Title match with the Coven and Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. So the Coven have been Impact Knockouts champions for a while, ever since they beat the Death Dolls. And, you know, and then against all odds, we had the match with the dog color match with Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich, and you know, Masha Slamovich has really impressed me ever since she's come to Impact. You know, being really dominant. Her feud with Jordynne Grace really stands out to me, and I've also been seeing some highlights on GCW where she's been really in that whole deathmatch scenario, and she's a badass, and I'm really glad they're bringing her and Killer Kelly together, like that respect after the dog color match. And I think they're going to win the Knockouts title and just, you know, have a reign of terror over the Knockouts division. So, then we have the Digital Media Championship with Joe Hendry and Kenny King. You know, Joe Hendry, you know, made one of his another hilarious videos making fun of Kenny King when he was a stripper, apparently. And Kenny King's got his butt, Sheldon Jean, in his corner. That italicized is really small on my computer screen. I can't see it. Ooh. I love Joe Hendry. I love his reign as Digital Media Champion, but ultimately, I mean, Kenny King, you know, he knows how to get the job done, and he'll do whatever it takes to win, so I gotta give it to Kenny King, especially with Sheldon Jean in his corner. I think Sheldon Jean's gonna get involved, and Kenny King will pick up the win, but I'll be happy if Joe Hendry retains. And then, you know, I was talking about the Death Dolls earlier. They're teaming with Jody Threat to take on Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Jay Vidal. So on Impact a couple weeks ago, you know, Giselle Shaw has been feuding with both Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity, and they attacked Jordynne Grace, you know, Giselle Shaw and her crew, and it put Jordynne Grace on the shelf. And, you know, with Deonna and Trinity going at it for the Knockouts title, you know, the Death Dolls have come in to, you know, end Giselle Shaw's reign of bullying. And then, you know, we saw on Impact earlier tonight, you know, Deonna and Jody fight for the Knockouts title in Deonna's Open Challenge, which Deonna got the win. And then Giselle and her crew came out to attack, and then the Coven came out, and then Trinity came out, and then at the end of the show was Trinity and Deonna going at it, you know, and then being broke up by officials and security. Who am I gonna pick? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of. I like Giselle, but I don't know. I don't like Jay Vidal. I mean, he just kind of annoys me. So, I gotta give this one to the Death Dolls and Jody Threat. But, that's gonna do it for me, for this video. Hopefully after SmackDown I will record me talking about WWE. And, I should have AEW and Ring of Honor up this weekend. I might do those two together since, you know, even though they're technically supposed to be two separate companies, they're kind of under the same umbrella. So, well, they are under the same umbrella because Tony Khan owns them. So, that's going to do it for me. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.